To find the rule for this translation, we can pick any 2 points. We could do all 4 just to verify, but as long as we do 2, we should be able to find the rule and keep from making an error. So our original points here, A is at 2, -4, B is at 4, -5. A1, the new translated shape, notice these all have the 1s, that means this is the new shape. So A1 is at -4, -3, B1 is at -2, -4. So what we have to ask ourselves here, what changed here? This is my original x, here's my new x. Original and my new. What did I do to 2 to get to -4? Well, to get from 2 to -4, I had to subtract 6. Does that work here? Yes, it does. 4 minus 6 is -2, and 2 minus 6 is -4. Now, for our y coordinate, we got from -4 to -3. That means I would have had to add 1, and to get from -5 to -4, did I add 1? Yes, I did. All right. So the way we would write this rule algebraically would be x minus 6, that's what we did with our x coordinates, and y plus 1, that's what we did with our y coordinates. And if we look at our graph here, if this was our original A, and here's the translated, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to the left, that is -6, and then we had to go up 1, so there's your plus 1, your x minus 6, y plus 1. All right, we're going to translate the figure horizontally plus 6. So remember, horizontally is affecting the x-axis, so this means we're going to add 6 to each of our new coordinates. So for A1, -4 plus 6 would be +2. Nothing happens to our y. -1 plus 6 would be 5, -1, B1. C1, if we're adding 6 to -1, we would be at 5, -3. And for our D1, when we add 6 to -4, that would put us at 2, -3. So let's go graph and label our new points. A1 would be at 2, -1. There's your A1. B1 is at 5, -1. That would be right here. C is at 5, -3. And D1 is at 2, -3. And connect your lines. And let me make sure I label D1 and C1. And I'm just shading it in to make it a little easier to see. All right, let's translate this triangle according to the rule x minus 4, y minus 5. So we need to subtract 4 from the x's and subtract 5 from each of our y coordinates. So for our I1, 3 minus 4, all right, would give us -1. And for our y, we're subtracting 5. 4 minus 5 would be -1. For J1, we have 2 minus 4 would be -2. 1 minus 5 would be -4. And K1, 4 minus 4 would give us 0. And 1 minus 5 would give us -4. Now let's go graph our new points. So -1, -1 would be I1. -2, -4 would be right here. That would be our J1. And then we have 0, -4. So here's our 0, -4. This would be our K1. Carefully connect our points. And that is our new translated shape according to x minus 4, y minus 5. And if we just want to pick a point and compare, I'm going -4, that means I'm going to the left, and then -5 down to get to those points. All right, let's go ahead and reflect the figure first across the x-axis. So here is our x-axis. So I1, we know that what we're going to do if we're reflecting across the x is multiply our y value by -1. So we're going to do 4 times -1. We're going to do 1 times -1 and 1 times -1. So I1 is going to be 3 -4. J1 is going to be 2 -1. And K1 is going to be 4 -1. 4 times -1 is -4. 1 times -1, -1. And 1 times -1 is -1. So let's go ahead and graph these new points. So our I is at 3 -4. So we have 3 -4. And our new J is at 2 -1. And K1 is at 4 -1. And now we have our reflection across the x-axis. When we reflect this across the y-axis, we're going to multiply our x by -1. So here we're going to do 3 times -1, we're going to do 2 times -1, and we're going to do 4 times -1. So I1, 3 times -1 is -3. For J1, 2 times -1 is -2. And our new K1, 4 times -1 would be -4. So our vertical axis here is the y-axis. So when we reflect these new points, we have -3. So 1, 2, 3, +4. There's going to be your I. J is at -2, 1. That's going to be your J. And K is at -4, +1. And connecting our new points. And let's shade that in a little bit. And that would be our reflection here across the y-axis. Next, we're going to dilate a figure using a scale factor of 2. So that means that we're going to multiply each of our coordinates by 2. So A1, -2 times 2 would be -4. 2 times 2 would be +4. And 1, multiplying each of those by 2 would be -4 and a -4. And V, multiplying each of these by 2, become 4 and 4. So let me add my 1s. When we go to regraph these, A1 is out at -4, +4. So -4 and then +4. There's your new A1. N1 is at -4, -4. So over 4 and down 4. There's our new N1. And V1 is at +4, 4, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, for my A, I didn't go up quite far enough. Common mistake there, so stay with me. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about that. So now we're going to connect our new points here. And notice, since our scale factor was larger than 1, our scale meant that our figure is going to get larger. This would be an enlargement. For dilating the scale factor of 1/2, that means we're going to multiply each of these by 1/2 with all of our coordinates. So A1, -2 times 1/2 is -1. 2 times 1/2 is +1. And 1 here, this would be a -1 and a -1. And this would be a 1 and a 1. So when we graph these new, A1 at -1, +1 here. And then N is at -1, -1. And V is at +1, +1. There is our new dilated figure. And notice that the scale factor here was less than 1. So when we do that, the scale is the figure is a reduction. Let's go ahead and rotate this figure 90 degrees. So remember, with a 90-degree rotation, we're going to reverse the x and y terms, then we're going to multiply the new x by -1. So let's go ahead and reverse our order of our terms, so that this means we're switching them. And for our C, this now means -3, -1. And for D, I'm going to reverse my 3 and 4. Now I'm going to take each of these x's and multiply them by -1. So times -1 times -1. And -1 times -1 is now +1. So A1. B1, this gives me a 1, -1. C1, -3 times -1 is +3. Y stays the same. And D1, I now have 3, -4. So let's go and graph those. So A1 is now 1, -4. So that's your A1 is here. B1 is 1, -1. C1 is now at 1, 2, 3, -1. And D is at +3, -4. And let's outline and shade. And there we have rotated that figure 90 degrees around the origin. For our bottom figure, we're going to rotate 180 degrees. And that means we're going to multiply x by -1 and y by -1 to get our new ordered pair. So all that really means is that we're just changing the sign. So R1 means now I would have a -1, +1. S1 is -4, +1. And T1 will now be -1, +3. So when we go and graph -1, +1, there's your new R1. S1 is -4, +1. 1, 2, 3, 4, +1. That's S1. And our T1 is -1, and then 1, 2, 3. There is our T1. Connect our points, and let's shade that in. And there is our figure rotated 180 degrees around the origin.